Hey Seahawk fans, coming up on this edition of the Seahawk Basketball Show featuring Takeo Siddle, we'll talk about the red-hot Seahawks. They won 4 straight, but coming off a COVID pause as well. We'll talk about that and how that's affected them. Before that pause, though, the Seahawks' big win. Conference opener against Delaware at home. The Seahawks get the victory over the Blue Hens. We'll have those highlights coming up. Our Parkway player profile today is the sophomore Jamari Harvey. John Smith has more on him. Plus, we'll have our player of the week, and we'll look ahead to a couple of games coming up, a couple of rivalry games in conference play for UNCW. All that straight ahead on this edition of the Seahawk Basketball Show featuring Takeo Siddle. Welcome everybody, Mike Vaccaro here alongside Takeo Siddle. It is a Seahawk Basketball Show featuring Takeo Siddle, and the Seahawks, a red-hot team, coach, the hottest team in the conference right now, winners of 4 straight. That's the good news for this team. The bad news is you haven't played in a couple of weeks because of COVID protocols right now, so let's start there. You've dealt with it last year, you dealt with it earlier this year with the flu outbreak in Montana. I guess the psyche, what is psychologically, what has this done for you, for your team, getting ready to move forward past this pause?
Yeah, for me, Mike, it's like last year, we went through it so much, so it's kind of like, okay, let's just, whatever the day that's in front of us gives us, we just roll with the punches and try to figure it out. It's one of those things where you can't really get too worked up or too frustrated about it because you knew it was going to happen. We just try to take the punches and roll with them. For our guys, just trying to make sure that we put things in perspective for them and making sure they stay excited about what we're doing. And for the most part, they have been.
I guess the good part of this is that everybody's kind of been affected in the conference, if you will, because everybody's has some kind of pause, had some kind of rescheduling. Is that a plus when you look at that everybody is kind of on the same page in the conference? Not many games have been played thus far.
Absolutely. As a coach, I look at that and I say, well, hopefully they don't have an advantage going into the game with us or anybody for that matter. So I think we're all on an even playing field, and I think it's one of those things where you have to manage your time leading up to the game and see if you can do that better than the other coach and better than the other team. So we'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, and again, you were supposed to have a couple of games up north, Hofstra, Northeastern. Those are rescheduled. The game at home against William & Mary, and then the Elon game pushed back a day as well. How far into your prep for each of those were you? And then you have to put that aside and get ready for a different prep.
We were focused in on Hofstra. We were focused in on them and getting ready to go up and play them. We were putting our finishing touches on it. So that's what we were locked in on. We weren't thinking about our next opponent. I felt like we were well prepared and getting ready to go up and, put a good product on the court. But then we got hit with that, so we had to, refocus and get ready for what was next.
And again, kids were sick during this time as well, so I know you didn't have everybody to practice and to get ready. When have you been able to practice? When did you have everybody back as a full team, as a full staff as well?
We had everybody back. We've put together, this is going into our 4th day in a row. So we've had everybody back. I feel good about where we are, but I really won't know until we put it out on the floor tomorrow.
And again, as we mentioned, you've dealt with this before, last year a couple of times, earlier this year as well. Does it change the way you come out of this pause and what you do with your players to get ready moving forward?
It does. You kind of, you look at it, you say, okay, we play in 5 days, but then you try to speed it up. But for me, after going through it last year, we have to inch back into it because I don't want to try to get the guys back in shape in 1 or 2 days. It doesn't happen that way. You end up getting injuries. They end up losing their legs. So what I've done is, we've kind of inched back into it. We did the first couple of days. It was not very light, but I was trying to get them back in shape. It was more half court, a little bit of full court, and then we kind of ramped it up over the last couple of days.
2 years of being a head coach, you learn a lot, and it's not all on the court that you've learned, dealing with a lot of pandemics, a lot of starts and stops to this season. But again, heading into that pause, the Seahawks were red hot. Coach, we'll take a break here. When we get back, we're going to talk about that game against the Delaware Blue Hens, the CAA opener for UNCW. It happened in Trask Coliseum. We'll have those highlights coming up next. Stay with us.
If it looks like an F-150, tows like an F-150, hauls like an F-150, thinks like an F-150, and powers like an F-150, it must be an F-150 hybrid. The 2021 F-150 Power Boost Hybrid with 570 pound-feet of torque and 12,700 pounds of max available towing.
This is Mountain Dew. A rush of crisp and refreshing flavor. Delivering a bold citrus kick. Do the do.
The Bud Light logo makes people think our seltzer is a beer, so we recruited retired NFL player Nick Mangold to block it out.
Twice this year?
My mom was
So jealous. Oh, it's a hard seltzer.
Just here to do my job.
And he said, I think Melanie
is the one.
Oh, it's going in. Why are you here?
Great speech.
Bud Light Seltzer. No beer, just great taste.
There is something indescribably special about this place. The way it looks, the way it feels, the way we care for one another and our community. The University of North Carolina, Wilmington is like no other. Your journey starts here. We invite you to discover what makes UNCW like no other.
Well, again, UNCW, everything was falling into place heading into conference play. Coach, you had won 3 straight heading into that opener against Delaware. But it was Delaware. It was the preseason favorite to win this league. Your thoughts going up against them, because they're a team that they brought back 100% of their roster as far as the scoring, the minutes, and their starting 5 as well. This is a loaded team that you faced in Trask.
The first thing I wanted to do with my guys is get them familiar with Delaware and help them understand that it was a good basketball team. And I wanted to make sure I did that first. And then I quickly threw that out the window, and I started trying to build their mentality up to make them understand that they were a good team, us, and that we were capable of beating them when we play the way that we've been playing leading up to the game. So going into the game, we wanted to be aggressive on both ends of the floor and impose our will on them, and I thought we did that all night.
Maybe having their entire roster, was that a plus for you from the standpoint of Delaware was one of the few teams you played twice last year, so you were familiar with them, their personnel, their coaching as well. Did that help in your prep?
It did. We were very familiar with, and they're a very simple basketball team, but they have really talented players. So we knew each one of their players. We knew what they were going to try to do on both ends. I think that helped us, but I think more than anything, I think our mentality was exactly where it needed to be.
And that mentality, getting wins, winning the fashion that you had leading in, have you seen the confidence of this team continue to grow?
It is growing. And my message to them, even before we started all of this, was, are we getting better on a daily basis? And I can honestly sit up here and tell you that those guys are locked in on the process of getting better every day.
Well, certainly we saw that. Again, the CAA opener back on December 29th in Trask Coliseum. Let's take a look now at our Reed's Jewelers highlights.
In Arletti, backs it away, knocked away though, and stolen by Phillips. Crosses over, finds the trailer there in sideline. A 5-all ball game, 16-16 to go in the first half. Right corner to Okaru, behind the line. The 3 is good for Mike Okaru. White on the left wing, out to Sims, wide open for a 3, and Jalen Sims knocks it in. Sims, whose lead is 5. Phillips on the right wing, crosses over on Nelson, drops it down low to White, and he'll slam it through with 2 hands. Okaru against the zone, drives it in, dishes it to Kelly. Kelly banks it in. Awesome. Drives it to the free throw line near sideline Baker. Baker will drive on Painter. Reverse layup is good. James Baker. Nelson, 14 on the shot clock. Phillips, top of the key. Goes right, pulls up. Free throw line and shot is good for Okaru. Top of the offense. Moves it right against the defensive Anderson all the way in. No good. The tip up is for Kelly. Fingertip with the left hand. Able to connect Jamari Kelly. Top of the offense near sideline to Okaru. Okaru will drive on Allen. Banks it in against Allen. Mike Okaru to White. 4-3. Phillips 3. Right wing on a line. It's all nets. Shaquille Phillips to the baseline. Circles it back. Bounces it. The elbow to Sims. Right side to Phillips. 3 rattles home. Shaquille Phillips hit a couple. Phillips. Here Nelson. On him, little push off for Phillips. Freedom up, and the shot is good.
Well, UNCW gets a big win there, 70-68 the final score. And Coach, a lot of big things in this game, but free throws were a factor to say the least. You didn't attempt a free throw in the first half, 15 of 20 in the second half. What changed? Was it a mentality shift, or was it just, you think, the way the game was being called in the second half? I
think it was the way the game was being called, because when I went back and looked at tape, we were doing the same things. We were being aggressive, trying to touch the paint. I thought we were getting hit on our arms a little bit, and they weren't calling it. But in the second half, we stayed true to what we were trying to do. And, we were able to get to the free throw line, 20 times, I want to say. So I thought that was a difference in the game a little bit. Just the calls weren't going our way in the first half, and they did in the second half.
Your guards were leading scorers. Sims with 17, Shaquille Phillips 17, 15, Mike Okaru. But maybe lost in that was Jamari Kelly. 22 minutes that he played, 6 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocked shots. I thought he really did a good job in the post disrupting Dylan Painter. Even though he had a big night scoring, he still disrupted him and made things difficult for him inside.
He did, and you're never going to be able to completely stop a guy like that. He's a dominant force on the inside. He is. But I thought Amari and James, for that matter, I thought they did a really good job using their quickness against him and making things tough for him. And our guards did a really good job pressuring the basketball, making those post entries tough. So, I thought those two guys in particular did a really good job, but I thought our whole team did a good job of defending the post.
So again, an exciting start to conference play for UNCW. They get that 2-point victory, 1-0 atop the standings in the conference. We'll take a break. When we get back, Jamari Harvey, he is our Parkway player profile. That comes your way next.
Even though we can't have everyone gathered, we found new ways to make each occasion special. We're keeping your gifting experience both safe and personal through Reads.com, answering all your questions and guiding you to the perfect present, just like we have for over 70 years. Family always finds a way to celebrate life's moments together, no matter what. You won't just shop with confidence at Reed's Jewelers and Reads.com. You'll feel like family.
Want a killer spread without the hassle? Walk-On's Family and Friends bundles are available to go. Pick your favorite starter, side, and entree, and feed your crew. Order online or in the app. Want a killer spread without the hassle? Walk-On's Family and Friends bundles are available to go. Pick your favorite starter, side, and entree, and feed your crew. Order online or in the app.
It doesn't matter which side of which bridge you spend most of your time on, many of these Hyundais have most likely turned your head, probably more than once. Experience the Parkway difference at Wilmington's exclusive Hyundai dealer with complimentary maintenance and a lifetime warranty on every new Hyundai, every day. Get the market's most competitive offers on top-selling Hyundais. Elevate your commute while turning heads in an all-new Hyundai from Parkway Hyundai.
Made from scratch biscuits and hand-breaded chicken, that's a breakfast no-brainer. But adding hot honey to the mix, you'll never hit snooze again. The new hot honey hand-breaded chicken biscuit at Hardee's. Get it before it's gone. Feed your happy. Honey just got its own stinger. Sweet heat drizzled over hand-breaded chicken, crispy bacon, and melty Swiss. This honey has some bite. The new hot honey hand-breaded chicken sandwich at Hardee's. Feed your happy.
Well, each week we take time to introduce you to the players, and one of the holdovers on this team, Jamari Harvey, last year a freshman, now a sophomore from Fayetteville. Coach, last year I was really impressed with the energy that he provided for this team, coming off the bench for the most part. How has his game changed? How has his game even improved in his second season here?
I think he's familiar with me. I think he's more comfortable with what we're trying to do on both ends. He's become a better shooter, better defender, better rebounder. I always talk about him. He's one of my favorite. He has the same mood every day. He's a happy kid. He gives me his max effort every day. So I have nothing bad to say about Jamar Harvey.
And from a freshman, again, he played defense. That's tough to get freshmen to play defense, as you know, as a coach. But, I think the offense, though, is sneaky good at times as well. And he's a guy that can give you 20-plus at different times as well. You seeing that side of his game improve?
It has. And that's who he is. Coming out of high school, he was a big-time scorer. I think as he continues to get stronger, I think we'll really see his ability on that end of the floor.
4 guys back from last year. He's one of those 4, obviously. So he's a guy that really embodies you and your style. Is that kind of why it was a must to have this kid stay on this team?
It was. It's always important to have guys that are about the things that you're about and sending the message through the locker room, the same message that you're giving. It's important to have those guys, all 4 of them back. And he's been at the forefront of all of that.
Yeah, certainly. He at times been a starter for this team, coming off the bench as well. Gives you whatever you need. It is Jamari Harvey, the sophomore from Fayetteville. John Smith has more now on Harvey.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Joined here by UNCW sophomore Jamari Harvey. Jamari, just talk about your impressions of coming back to UNCW and second-year head coach Takeo Siddle. How have things been going?
Things have been going great, actually. I feel real confident about the team we got this year. I like the PCC's brought in this year, and I think we'll be really good, and we got a really good chance of winning.
Those pieces, this is a team that has brought in some familiar faces and some guys from outside. How have they all fit together so far? Because sometimes it takes teams time to build that camaraderie.
Honestly, it's like a brotherhood. We're always with each other. We do everything together, so we're meshing pretty quickly, and our chemistry is building up pretty fast, so it's been going real good.
UNCW fans had a taste of being able to see you as a freshman. How has your game changed and expectations for that game this year?
Honestly, my focus for the offseason was to get a lot stronger, and I have done that, and it's just better me all around on the court. I'm able to get to my spots better and just be a better overall player.
Is it hard, or was it hard to obtain those goals? You come in as a freshman, you think that you are going to be able to excel the second you come on campus. Was it more difficult than you expected to be able to finally earn that starting role that you did towards the end of the season?
Honestly, it was. It was a roller coaster. It was kind of hard to get adjusted to the speed, but once I got adjusted, I felt fine, and I've been good ever since.
This team, has always been told, if you play defense, you can have that freedom offense. Has anything changed with Coach Siddle in how he does things?
No, sir. That's pretty much his motto. That's what he lived by, and that's how we play defense and get buckets.
For a person that plays offense well, how much fun is that to have that freedom, knowing that you're not going to get the quick yank because you took a bad shot?
It's a lot easier because we play more free, because we know as long as we play defense that he'll let us play our game. So it makes the game easier.
Is it different being out on the practice court, seeing so many new faces, that you kind of have to learn each other's tendencies again, or have you guys quickly come up with all that?
I think a little bit of both. I think it's just because everybody's new, it's going to be a little difficult, but all around, I think we've come together pretty quickly.
That's our conversation with UNCW forward Jamari Harvey. We'll be right back.
If it looks like an F-150, tows like an F-150, hauls like an F-150, thinks like an F-150, and powers like an F-150, it must be an F-150 hybrid. The 2021 F-150 Power Boost Hybrid with 570 pound-feet of torque and 12,700 pounds of max available towing.
This is Mountain Dew. A rush of crisp and refreshing flavor. Delivering a bold citrus kick. Do the do.
Oh, Bud Light Seltzer Retro Tide.
Have you tried these yet?
I'm sorry, ladies. It's my roommate, Emmerich.
Emmerich. Is that Irish?
Bud Light Seltzer Retro Tide. The loudest flavors ever.
There is something indescribably special about this place. The way it looks, the way it feels, the way we care for one another and our community. The University of North Carolina, Wilmington is like no other. Your journey starts here. We invite you to discover what makes UNCW like no other.
Back here now with this week's Pepsi Play of the Week. It's free throws. Typically not the most exciting, but these two were the difference-making points for UNCW in their victory against the Blue Hens of Delaware. Let's take a look at this week's Pepsi Play of the Week.
White on the left wing, out to Sims, wide open for a three, and Jalen Sims.
Well, as we said, typically free throws not the most exciting points and moments of a game, but these two were for Jalen Sims. Coach, he had 17 points, as we mentioned, against Delaware. He missed his first 4 free throws, but made 12 consecutive after that, and the two there, the deciding two for UNCW. And this is a kid that, again, he continues to be that guy that gives you what you need, and a couple of game winners. He had the game-winning shot in overtime against High Point and the deciding points here.
Yeah, Jalen has grown in a lot of areas, but I think more than anything, his mental toughness has really taken a step in the right direction this year. He's been through a lot. He's been a little up and down throughout his career. But I think right now his mental toughness is going to another level and his game is going to another level. So we need him to continue to improve in that area.
Yeah, struggled a little bit from the field in this game, but again, knocked down 12 consecutive free throws, the deciding points there. That is our Pepsi Play of the Week. That brings us now to our Carolina Ford Dealers Player of the Week, and Shaquem Phillips is that. Along with Sims, he had 17 points in that win against Delaware, and this is, again, Coach, you make the decision, take him off the ball from the point guard position to the 2 spot, and it certainly pays dividends for you and for him with what we're seeing from Shaquem Phillips right now.
We need Shaquem to be who he is, and who he is a scoring guard, aggressive to get his own. He's a playmaker. He can get his teammates involved, but he really is at his best when he's scoring the basketball. So I wanted to make sure he was comfortable because we need a guy like that on this team. Somebody that I don't have to run plays for. He can get it within the flow of our offense. So I'm pleased with what he's doing right now, and I think he's only going to continue to get better.
Yeah, he's known really as a penetrator getting to the rim, but 2 for 2 from 3 as well. That's not typically part of his game, but boy, that becomes part of his game. Watch out, he's going to be even that much better.
Yeah, he spent a lot of time this summer. We tweaked his shot a little bit, trying to get more air up under it. It's still a little flat, but he's confident in it because he works on it. He spends a lot of time with Coach Craig Ponder, getting shots up. His mid-range game is pretty on the money for the most part, and he can get to the rim. That's what he's always done. So he's playing good basketball right now.
So again, 17 points, shot 40%, made both his threes, 75% from the free throw line, and dished out 3 assists, no turnovers as well. Shaquem Phillips, the Carolina Ford Dealers Player of the Week. We'll take our final break. We'll look ahead to a couple of games coming up for UNCW as they're
She's the one, and you know it. At Reeds.com, we're making it easy to find the perfect ring from home. With helpful advice from our online jewelry experts, safe and discreet shipping, and beautiful ring packaging, you'll be confident the moment will be as perfect for her as she is for you. As a trusted jeweler for over 70 years, Reed's Jewelers will be here to make both of you feel like family. Long after she says yes.
Want a killer spread without the hassle? Walk-On's Family and Friends bundles are available to go. Pick your favorite starter, side, and entree, and feed your crew. Order online or in the app. Want a killer spread without the hassle? Walk-On's Family and Friends bundles are available to go. Pick your favorite starter, side, and entree, and feed your crew. Order online or in the app.
It doesn't matter which side of which bridge you spend most of your time on, many of these Hyundais have most likely turned your head, probably more than once. Experience the Parkway difference at Wilmington's exclusive Hyundai dealer with complimentary maintenance and a lifetime warranty on every new Hyundai, every day. Get the market's most competitive offers on top-selling Hyundais. Elevate your commute while turning heads in an all-new Hyundai from Parkway Hyundai.
Made from scratch biscuits and hand-breaded chicken, that's a breakfast no-brainer. But adding hot honey to the mix, you'll never hit snooze again. The new hot honey hand-breaded chicken biscuit at Hardee's. Get it before it's gone. Feed your happy. Honey just got its own stinger. Sweet heat drizzled over hand-breaded chicken, crispy bacon, and melty Swiss. This honey has some bite. The new hot honey hand-breaded chicken sandwich at Hardee's. Feed your happy.
Well, we're in a conference play now, so we take a look at the Hardee's CAA standings for the first time. Coach, again, not many games right now. It's William & Mary atop the standings at 2-0, but you're right behind them at 1-0. Northeastern's played the most games, 3 games so far. They're 0-3 right now, but certainly early on, and as we talked about, no big advantage with the pause that you had because a lot of other teams had games that had to be rescheduled because of that as well.
Yeah, it's really early, and what we try to focus on is the game in front of us. It's so early, you can really never think ahead. You have to stay in the moment, and that's what we're doing right now.
So again, our Hardee's CAA standings. Well, let's take a look at what's coming up for UNCW, our walk-ons, what's coming up, and the Seahawks will have a couple of games starting Wednesday night back in Trask Coliseum, back on the court against the Elon Phoenix. Coach, this is a team, their record, throw it out because it's 4-11 right now, but they played some really good competition, and it's a team that's got a lot of talent back. So this is going to be certainly a tough test, and with the layoff as well, going back at it against Elon.
Yeah, it's a team from last year that made the championship game of the CAA, so they play with that level of confidence, and they're well coached. And what they do on the offensive end is deadly. They have a deadly weapon with being able to shoot threes and make threes at a high level. So we really have to lock in on that end. And then, from him working with Chris Holtman, I know on the defensive end, they always want to be physical. They play a pack line style. They want to make you shoot tough jump shots. So we have to put our plan in place and execute it at a high level.
Yeah, Mike Stragi, the third-year head coach there for Elon. Hunter McIntosh, preseason first-team all-conference member, one of their guards there as well. So that game Wednesday, 7 o'clock in Trask Coliseum. Then after that, you're on the road. You have a nice little gap, 5 days in between, but then you're going on the road at Charleston. I know you haven't prepped for that yet, but it'll be back on the road, first time in a while that you're going on the road.
Yeah, leading up to that game, what I want to focus on is us getting better because we'll have a little time, so we'll work on some things that we need to work on. And then we'll start prepping for Charleston about 2 or 3 days before we play them and get ready to go on the road against a really good basketball team.
So again, 2 games coming up for UNCW. Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Against Elon in Trask Coliseum. Invite the fans to come out. Students will be back. Should be a great environment. And then Monday on the road at Charleston. That game at 7 o'clock. We'll have both games for you on The Breeze. The home game against Elon on Flow Sports as well if you cannot make it out to those games. So, Coach, you're back at it, back on the floor. Wish you the best of luck this week.
Thank you, Mike.
For Takeo Siddle, our entire crew, I'm Mike Vaccaro. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week for another edition of the Seahawk Basketball Show featuring Takeo Siddle.